Good day, everyone, and welcome back to our week 2 lectures. And we start with beef production systems as we have introduced last week. Um, my name is Manulua and I'm from Adelaide. I'm going to talk about the production system of the beef cattle. Um, I did print, or I did send to you, or try to send to your email. I have problems sending to your email in the school, but I sent it through Facebook and also to Charles Kawaka. So he is going to print it out and and distribute it through the students in the class or whoever who attend this lecture. Okay, 3 pages. We're going to discuss. We're going to talk about it, and yeah. So hopefully, uh, you guys will understand what I was gonna. That the uh, shortest summary I can make. Okay, it's most of the information you need to know is all in these 3 pages. I have a little bit in the end that I'll just using the whiteboard to show. I think it will be clear if I use the whiteboard later. Uh, yeah, so one thing I'm going to let you know, it's when we do the dairy cattle is going to be shorter because most of the things that we talk about the cows, their breeding system, we're not going to mention it in the dairy cows. Something like lactation, no, not lactation, gestation period is the length of is the length of the pregnancy of cows. So it's called uh, gestation period or gestation period. All right. Um, in cows, it's 9 months. All right. Okay. Whether they're dairy cattle or beef cattle, they're still 9 months. The length from fertilization or conception until their calving, that's 9 months. You gotta learn this by heart because it might come in the exam questions because uh, different animals they have a different uh, gestation period. For example, uh, goats they're only 5 months. You probably already learned this in the certificate level. Dogs and cats 2 months. All right. Horses 11 months. Uh, yeah, so different animals they have. What else? Elephant. You gotta check this out. 2 years. So you can see why these elephants are very easy to extinct because it take 2 years to 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 get to carve. Eh? Okay, we'll keep going. Remember that I had that three main uh, that I showed you last week. The three main um, stages: breeding, selection and program, cow-calf operation, backgrounding uh, in the in um, in beef. Uh, there are other topics I want to bring it up to you, but we're gonna start with breeding, selection, and programming. So keep in mind, I'm just telling you the main points. So these are the things that I want you to learn. All right. If you learn by heart all these numbers, say um, uh, number of days. I put it sometimes I put it in days, but you can learn it in months if you want. But sometimes they be easier to learn it in days because in months because you just it's a smaller number. All right. If you say after calving, and then when the cow will return to heat, uh, will be about 60 to or 65 going through to 90 days before you put that cow back into the bull. All right. So breeding program, there are some breed there's Hereford, Shorthorn, and Charolais. I highlight that one, those ones. They're the really popular in Tonga now. I'm not sure. I've been away from Tonga for a long time, but you can study the Angus and Limousine. They are. If I ask you to do your assignment, when you put in breeds, say uh, Hereford, that's very popular in Tonga, but most of them they're not pure breed anymore. Most of the Hereford in Tonga, they're actually being crossed. Uh, they've been crossed with. Doesn't matter where what people look at. They might have a dairy cow Frisian that cross with a beef cattle with a Hereford breed. Um, so you need to understand that Hereford in Tonga we call it local breeds, all right? Or Hereford is crossed with the Shorthorn, all right? But when you write your assignment, I want you to write down why do you use this breed, all right? Just look at why do you, if you want to use Shorthorn, why do you use Shorthorn as for your farm? Because a lot of them they have differences in they have a disadvantage and advantages, all right? So you're gonna list they're good producing meat, very uh, their survival rate for their calves are very high, are very strong. They can they are very good in the Tongan climate, in the tropics. So there are some examples I want you to, when you write your assignments, you come up with why do you use these, all right? Mind you that I wrote down when you market in Tonga, you just sell live cattle. All right, we can. Okay, artificial inseminations. I think you have heard of this one, AI. Okay, So it stands for artificial insemination. I think that's how it's spelled. Only if you can read my handwriting. Um, artificial inseminations is there are lots of companies overseas, not in Tonga. What they do, they don't farm the animals. They just have the bull. So when they have the bull, and they specified the breeds, so it could be a pure breed bull, uh, pure breed bull. Doesn't matter. It could be a Hereford Shorthorn, but it's pure breed, and they take this into the shed, and they have some method of taking semen out. Okay, you can read books. I don't want to talk about the details. So semen of the bull, and they take it. It could be a half a liter. It could be a liter. So 1 liter. Okay. Make sure you understand the difference between semen and sperm cells. All right. They uh, sperm cells. Okay. Sperm cells are the cells that the living cells uh, that swimming in the semen. Semen is the fluid, all right? Okay, so here there are millions and millions of sperm cells in here, all right? So this is 1 liter of a concentrate semen, okay? So they take that off from that bull, okay, and they get another bigger volume, and so this is about we see 12 liters, all right. So they diluted this one in here. So from here there are a lot in here, and they sucked up into a tube. So this one is about 10 mils, all right. So 10 mils of semen, and they actually have about 5,000 of 10 mils from there, all right. That could be 12, it could be 20, it depends on the sperm count. They count here what they and calculate the amount of sperm in here, and they dilute, and they figure out how many in. So it's a smaller number. So we have, say, we call this a vial, and we have 3,000 dose. This one is the number of cows. Then one bull can uh, can can conceive. All right. So there's a number. There's a big number. That's the advantage of having AI. Is one bull is in your note. I put it on your note. There are other things, but this is what I want you to see. It can take this one. All this while there are the different. They put on like can like this. It's like a milk vac and they lock this one, and this one is insulated, okay, and this wire is lined up inside in a little and hooked up the hook in the side. Some of you have seen it. When you open this, they on the side here, they put liquid nitrogen in there. Liquid nitrogen. They're very, very cold. All right. This liquid nitrogen, it will bring the temperature down to minus 80 degree Celsius. Okay. Okay. This will freeze this one. Okay. By the way, once this one is freezing, is froze, and the the sperm cells doesn't move. They just stay there. Okay, they won't die from that cold. They just stay there. So they still have the energy to move. Okay, but it will be saved and spare that until we inject into the cows. All right. In here, when they make the semen, they have to make it as close as they can to the to the liquid in the natural semen. So in here is very high in glucose, uh, uh, protein. All right. So that's the food for the sperm cells. Okay. Now that's how they collect in here. That's how they extract it from the bull. There's a way they make a fake cow, and inside, when the bull jump on that fake cow, it release when there's a word. So you check it like, and I think everyone's old enough to understand that word. It's a long one, but it's important to understand those terms when you deal with this one, all right, with the AI. Okay, now so you can write notes from here. I only summarize on the notes. I don't write the details, so that's why I lecture, so give you an idea of what you're doing. So we got the vial, all right. Now when they take it, uh, when the cow is on heat, when the cow is on heat, okay, so you find all these sign of on heat in the cow in the head. You take that cow and put in the stockyard. Okay, in the stockyard, you lock that cow. You got all the sign, and here is that I mentioned. You got restless, uh, okay, milky discharge coming from the back, okay, out of vulvar area. Uh, Restless, it always jump on top of other cows, okay, and what? So when you see these, it's I put there it's about 11 hours that is gonna last, okay. So when you see this in 11 hours in the morning, you separate it and bring it in to the stockyard and lock them in there. So this is a very hard process to because it's a lot. You have to have a very a high commitment uh, to get this one done in cows. Okay, pigs and goats and sheep are easy because it's easy to handle. Uh, um, Sorry guys, I can't go without my coffee. Um, so when there is a tool, uh, what is the name of? I think it's catheter. It's a catheter. Just check it on the internet. Uh, there's a catheter and it has some barrel. I think it's like this is what they use. It's shaped like this. It's like a long syringe. Okay, okay. Now you bring this tube. When you thought, remember it's frozen. When you thought uh, this tube containing the sperm cells, you can't put in hot water or you're not allowed to live in the sun exposed to the sunlight. Okay, the sunlight, even it's very mild sunlight, it will kill the sperm. Okay, you have to put it in a room temperature uh, uh, water. Okay, they they you leave in there for only 2 minutes. Okay, and you take it out. Okay, or you are yeah, you don't make it warmer than that. All right, so 24 degree, that's the bath that you put the thing in there, and then you take it out. From there you got here your bowl, and you put in here, and you push that one in here. Okay, so this one is closed. You have to cut that with a scissors. All right, so they both end. Once you cut it, you hold it this way. So when you cut it and then you push it this way in. Okay, so this one will move back. Okay, it's got so this one will move back here somewhere. Okay, so that tube will be here. Okay, and it's ready to be injected in. All right, this one is not so sharp. It's going to be about like that. Okay, because it's kind of go through the cervix of the uterus. Okay, now you got this ready. The cow is in the stockyard. That barrel is loaded and ready to move. Okay, this catheter is but this tube here, and barrel is like the gun, barrel of a gun. All right, so it's get ready. Need gloves, uh, uh, safety glasses, yeah, all these gloves and rubber boots. Yeah, so it's a very hard when you see it in reality. I tell you, it's I've done this for practice, and uh, but I think I did in AI in pigs and sheep, but not in cows. But I've seen Fatui and all those people from Hango did it in to the king's cattle in Mataki'ewa, I think back in 1987 with Golden Cargill. So, okay, now you're ready. I'll show you how that when I say that when it's on heat and all these signs I told you, the cow is actually on a situation is called oestrus. Okay, uh, yeah. So in America, they just call it like that. It's right. Doesn't matter how you pronounce it, how you say it. It's just the spelling need to be right. When you have this inside, I'll draw you a picture of how they inside the okay. So this is the ovary, okay, of a cow. Ovary is like this, okay, and it got it's like it got a few lumps. When the lumps come up, when they go from a little one and go up to but this big, all right. Inside, this one is called the ovum for singular, okay. When it come here is big one and it release into the uh, fallopian tube, okay. I think I hope my spelling is right, guys, but forgive me if I'm wrong. Tube. The actual uterus is here, but I just want to highlight how it works. So when this one is released in here, okay, that that actually the 11 hours of that sign you saw before, what I showed you, it restless and you really need the bull, okay. So when this one is released, uh, I'll rub that off. That's it's the uterus is going here, and it's going here. That be another ovary there, okay. And it's like this. This is the ovary, and then come down. They have the cervix there, and that outside here, it's the uh, that's where the vulva, vagina, and here, okay. You've been doing this in your certificate. Can you see it? Okay, you still, yeah, you can. So this is cervix or cervix, and this here is uterus. Okay, can you see that how much notes that I have to cut out from those 3 pages? I'm trying to, so I want your understanding. All right, it doesn't matter which ovary that release, but only release one. Mostly pigs release heaps. Okay, pigs can have 16 or 20, 30. Yeah, I've seen pigs with 25 piglets in one furrowing. All right, but this one when it come, so the bull will come here, and the sperm is it's placed here. The sperm is placed here, and then naturally think so. Can you check? I think is placed in here by the bull in front of the cervix, and the cervix will suck in that one. So it's only take a few to come up. All right, and next one that come here, over is coming here. So when they meet, uh, that's the ovum, and that's the sperm cell there. All right. On top of the sperm cells, there are some chemicals in here. It's a natural chemicals that once it uh, once it hit the ovum, it split, it melt, and it's open up. All right. So once it open up, the sperm cell uh, here. So this is what we call fertilization. Okay. Oops. Fertilization. Okay. By the way, I got my new computer yesterday. I bought a new laptop. I don't have to have Andrew to hold the camera. So thank you for giving me this job. I got a new laptop. It's a nice camera, but I need a new classroom from here. This is my garage, so my car's outside. Anyway, as long as you can see and understand what I'm talking about. So they have a chemicals here for the female of them that cut that tail. So the tail is not allowed inside. Okay. So once that one, the head is going in, it closes. All right. That's it. What have we'll talk about this later on, probably if we have time. Fertilization is going in, taking the chromosomes inside with it. So fertilization is they have meiosis, and when they split, here is they have the 23 sets of chromosomes here, okay, and 23 from here. I think it's 23 in cows. Anyway, in human it does. And then you add this when they fertilization it back to normal 46 chromosomes. But I'll have to check with cows how many chromosomes they have in meiosis and mitosis. All right, meiosis. When they split up and have half, it's called meiosis, and when they the sex cells after fertilization, all these numbers will go back to the normal cell, and it contained 46 chromosomes. All right, mitosis. If you want to have some reading about these two terms here, two processes, that's very good. Okay, that's fertilization. It take place here, and after this one, they move back. All right, they move back here. I think it's about so they're fertilized here. I think it takes 7 days with all these from here to fertilization and back here. All right, so when they back here, they is all prepared. The hormones in the cows, they prepared the uterus to receive this one. Okay, Once it's fertilization, all this process is closed. Every second one, the unlucky ones, will be reabsorbed into the ovary. Okay, it's just uh, disintegrate and reabsorb, waiting for the next period. All right, that's another 3 weeks. Anyway, now we're gonna talk about the implantation. All right, I'm gonna close this. What's the time? Oh man, 40 minutes already gone. I must have talk a lot. Okay, that's all right. This is a 2 hours worth of lectures. Okay, now this is the uterus. Is about here. Okay, the cervix is there, and is this one is full of water. Okay, they're already fertilized, so it's already one cell. I'm gonna tell you this when straight after they fertilize is called zygote. You must have come up with the word. That's zygote is only a single cell baby, really. So when they split in two, and so one, two, to about dozen is called embryo. Okay, the word before embryo is called zygote. It means they just a single cell baby. And then you go from embryo to fetus, and then fetus to a baby. Okay, that's the history of baby, how it forms. Okay, but this one is embryo is about few cells and hang on to here, and then when they split up and start forming legs and mouth and the body is called a fetus. And then yeah, when you feel the baby is kicking around, that's baby and it's coming out, all right, as a baby. Okay, I'll just quickly uh, talk about that so that you understand what we what actually so when it coming here, it's full of water and it's floating inside. Okay, uh, that's the cell there. So it takes about 7 days to stick to the wall, all right, of the mother. Babies can't live by itself in the middle here. Okay, once they stick in here, the blood vessels will feed protein, amino acids, uh, protein, carbohydrate, everything in there. The baby's waste, it will come into the blood of the mum. Uh, what are the waste? Carbon dioxide. Okay, so oxygen will go in here. Okay, it has to stick to the wall. Okay, and then form the baby as it big. We'll talk about later, but that's this subject is called obstetric. That you learn all this exchanging in there. So 7 days, before 7 days, we do the AI. Okay, the AI is uh, we have to put now before this one stick to the wall. We need to take uh, we need to, uh, oh, sorry, embryo transfer. Embryo, yeah, AI was before when you inject it and it's going in, all right, uh, in here. The natural bull will place in here, but the AI, you're gonna, uh, I'm going too far here, okay. So we're gonna, that's the cow, that's the anus there, and that's, okay, okay, that's the, okay. When you do the AI, you put your hands here, and in here, one hand inside in the anus, the rectum, okay. Uh, it's a hard one because once you put in there, the cow is not, the tail in here, okay. Once you put your hands, one hand here, you grab this cervix from the top, and then you inject in the AI, the catheter. We talk about the burrow, okay, and then you sort of, it's like a syringe, you inject in the sperm in here, okay. So this one here, the sperm is coming and fertilize, okay. So that's how you do the AI, okay. You can, uh, that's the bull would just place here the sperm, his sperm cells here, okay. So that's the AI. So when it coming back, we call, this is the process of ET, or process of embryo transfer, okay. It's called in vitro, okay. Something here needs, you got the tube there. We need to collect these fertilized egg, okay, uh, baby, before it stick to the side, okay. So what what we need to do is, we got the funnel, okay, and the hose is going into the cow, in the vulva, okay. That's the cow there. So you go in into the uterus, and there is another car, another catheter here that you got, a little beaker from the lab. That, so you put the liquid there, and you sort of squeezing the fluid to go in. All right. When it go in, it flushes the, the it flushes the uterus. Okay. When the fluid come in, it flushes the inside of the, the here, and the water will come back. So it flow in here, and water will flush the uterus, and the liquid from inside, it will come back here. Okay, you have to do this. This very hard process to do. in breeding in cows. Okay, so hopefully we do this a few times, and you take this to the lab, and you got under the microscope. Uh, Under the microscope, you have a look, uh, and got the thing here, and you can see, can find this cell. Very hard. That's very hard. Uh, we've done this a few times, and it's a long job because sometimes you set the microscope uh, into, and you see the top of it, and the egg is right here. The eggs, it could be right on top, and you miss it. Okay, the eggs is right here, and if you move it too quickly, the microscope, it depends on the, yeah, girls, they're more, girls are more patient than men in the lab. uh, but yeah, that's called, this process is called a embryo transfer. um, Transfer. Okay, yeah, it's on the note. I'll let you read those notes. Okay, that's the natural uh, breeding, the AI and embryo transfer that I'll just have a high, quickly talk to you about. Make sure you read uh, when we get to the, when we get to anatomy and physiology, we talk about reproduction system. We talk about this stuff later on. So I'll check my notes. Yeah, read those notes. So first page is done. Next page. Embryo transfer. Okay. Heat cycles there. I'll let you read this. Super ovulations is they actually inject the cows with something. I think it's a horse serum. Uh, yeah, I'm not sure, but check on online and see what super ovulations, something they put in the cows to make, to keep them, is hormone stuff. Anyway, it's a hormone stuff. I'll have a look at it before we it's been a long time ago, guys. um, I'll have a look at it before we get into the anatomy and physiology on reproductive system. Okay, and embryo transfer is done on first page, on yeah, and second page. I put here refer Cargill Colin et al. Colin Cargill. I refer that. You go into pregnancy test. When you pregnancy test is all that book that we wrote with Colin. So if you want to have a look at it, you can look at it. But it's how you put your arms in the rectum area, and you can feel the top of the feel the top of the uterus. All right. When you tap on top of the uterus, you can see, can feel the water moving. So you know that the cell, the cell, uh, the little embryo is in the water. So okay. So 9 months, probably 3 months, you can feel the embryo hitting your hand. It's a great experience that we done that back in Hangul. in the 80s, and then closer to you can just feel the calf, you know. Yeah, when he's 8 months, 8.5 months, you put your hands in, you just feel the mouth and the nose of the embryo of the baby, the calf. Yeah, okay, but I put my yeah, read that because all the details in there. Colin put in there. Yeah, Colin and myself wrote those books. Yes, I helped him. he was he was a smart man. I was just helping write drawing diagrams. Yeah, 9 months. 3 weeks before carving, you got a you you got uh, you do the drenching and mites, ticks and worms treatment. So now last page, weaners management, castration of young males is all that book as well. That Colin ruminant that Colin wrote in 1989. Dehorning is castrations. You gotta be done it when they're young. I think after they born, I think it's about 3 weeks after they the calving, you just grab the calf. 2 weeks when the umbilical cord is healing, yeah, you can castrate the young males in there. Make sure you inject it. Make sure you put in the grass in the paddock with the grass in there, so you clean it so you won't be infected. Uh, it's all in there. I think I put in there. Dehorning. When the uh, cows is say um, horn is like this. The ear, the ear, the eyes. Okay, something like that. So okay, so that's the the cow in there. The horn. Uh, you need to cut these. This one, they're sharp, but okay, they're very sharp when they coming up. So all we do is there's a bit of blackness in there. There's still blood vessels coming up here from the skull. All right, they're coming up, but you need to cut this one. Okay, they're very dangerous when they're mixed with other calves who doesn't have horns. You gotta cut this with there's a lock cutter. You can just nick the top of it, the sharp edge. It's still growing. It's still growing. In when they get older, it's going, but it's like that. Okay, so they can still fighting, but it's not getting any as bad as if they have a very sharp ones. And they sharp ones is dangerous for other calves and for the staff and the workers as well. So that's dehorning. That's need to be done as well. I'll tell you something that in the world, different systems, different systems that in in the different countries, depending on their climate and where they are. Canada, they have a different systems to compared to New Zealand because they have snow in there. New Zealand, they have a very modern one. Problem of adopting those systems, it will never get to happen in Tonga because it doesn't matter. You're studying all this stuff, and and then when you finish Hango, you kind of work. maybe the system is going to be different to what you learn, but at least you learning the basics is the one that I encourage you guys to stick to it. Okay, so the horning selections of replacements is good. Healthy ones are always good ones. Okay, make sure you pick the one from good cows, healthy mothers, and healthy bulls. Okay, black one. So fencing, marketing, marketing. Unless you learning meat inspections, you might be learn how to slaughter a cow, but I don't think we need to talk about that one. So marketing is usually in Tonga, you just sell live cattle in there. I think uh, there are few in the market in Talamahu maybe. They still have the uh, slaughtering and selling the meat in there. Um, Paddock and stockyard. Okay, so that's the main ones that I need to, the three stages. It's about an hour now. So the next 20 minutes, fencing material, head movements. I'll, I'll say this is the yes, always in Hango we learn this, but a few ex-students went back and do these ones. Okay, this is the paddock. All right. Oops. So paddock, paddocks. Yes. All right. So, for example, you'll find this you in your bush allotment. You do this, okay, and then you divide this to four paddocks. Okay. I have told you how to knit strong fence, electric wire in there as well, running with battery, not the real electric one. Don't put the uh, what's that 240 AC in the paddock. It will kill people and kill your cows. So it's a battery that running, I think it's a 12 volts. It's just to shock the cows and they away. Uh, they won't break the fence. Okay. We normally put this when we take the cows and the dairy cows into New Acre uh, back in the 80s for the agricultural show. But anyway, this one is an example of how your paddock is going to be look like. Okay, they should cost a lot of money to do this, but unless you've got a very big uh, capital, that would be really good. So you put here a water trough. Okay, so they water there trough. Okay, so one here and one here one here. Okay. You know why I put it in here? Some people put it in the middle. Some people put it in the middle or other corners. There's a reason why they connected those animals. If the bull is here, you can see that cows come in here and it's very easy. They scatter around here and the bull is here. It's very easy to detect which one they want the bull when they come to drink. Okay, so you you actually want the herd to be together. The sheep, they're very the flock of a sheep, they stay together. But cows, they can be anywhere in the paddock. You know, dairy cows can be anywhere until they see the bull. And you can see that is when the other bulls, when they finish the drinking, the other cows went back and feed. They scatter in here. But there are few will just hang around here with the bull is there. Okay, that's another way of making it easy. This is not really part of the system, but this is what my experience when I work in Hango. It's nice to got some experience of how you can tell how the animals think. Okay, okay, so that's the water trough in there, and obviously you got the gate's there, the gate's there. So when you take the bull that way, you open that gate, lock all other three, go in there. When you go this way, you okay, it's very easy to move around here, okay, and back. So uh, so it's easy to all these. It's easier to have these gates in the center here. Okay, you still have a gate on here, a gate there, gate here if you have the stockyard there. So you've got the stockyard here. As I said before, different people have their different way of doing things. So you open this gate, you bring the stockyard here, you work here, and you release this one, and then you've got a gate here. Once you finish, you cover this one, and cows go that way, or weaners. Once they go there, there will be a gate here. They go straight into here. Okay, make handling things easily, much easier if you plan really well. They have their drink. Four of them have their trough. So when, for example, after you trench or treatment cows, uh, uh, when they coming in here, and this one here, it hasn't been, there's no cows here for the uh, for the previous 2 weeks. All right, so it's clean, so there's uh, no uh, worm, eggs on grasses. All right, so 2 weeks after you trench, worm treatment. When you do the worm treatment to the weaners, uh, then weaners, you come here and you put them in here. Okay, you don't treat worms and put it back to where they were, because where they stayed, they all this manure on the grass. They have their eggs on the manure, and when they become larvae, they larvae climb up on the grass. Okay, say grass is like this, and all these larvae crawl up here, crawl up there, and so when they go back here, they eat these grasses, and the larvae become adults inside their tummy. All right. So you need to work out how you plan. That's why I said the movements of the winners will never pull together. They will fight. Once they fight over a female, it's very hard to stop them. All right, they can smash the fence and destroy it and make damages wherever they are, the troughs and okay, they're very strong animal bulls. Um, okay, so that's the stockyard and fence herd movements. Last thing I want to talk about, guys. Oh yes, I haven't put in there, but you can write it down because it's very important. I'll tell you why it's important. The shoulders inside paddock, each paddock should have a shoulders in there. All right, they they got the cover all this one with corrugated iron. So if the wind come from this way, you need to have a cover in here, so cows will will keep themselves warm and from the rain as well. All right. So when I'll tell you what, I've never seen many people in Tonga. So how I draw it, I've never seen uh, so if it's go like this, the post is there, okay, and you make sure you got iron or plywood, maybe iron cover from here, so the wind is coming from the back, okay, and cover this. So it's called horiskapa, eh? Horiskapa whaeko. It's called, what do you call it? Corrugated iron. Um, Kapa ato, where we normally we use, is a sheet that, okay, okay, it's all here to stop the wind from hitting them. Okay, people in Tonga, they said they just stay under a tree, and I'll tell you why. Because when we study in Hango, you study science, you have to you have to uh, you don't have to follow everything, but you can't, something is common sense. Okay, there's a process called photosynthesis. You know this from high school. It's the water come up from the root. Okay, you plus uh, carbon dioxide from us or from animals. Okay, uh, with sunlight here, sunlight, okay, and it changed those two products in here. Uh, they react, all this carbon dioxide coming from the leaves, okay. This process is inside the leaves, okay. So carbon dioxide is go inside the leaves through uh, stomata, okay. That's the holes go in there. The water is coming down from the tree roots. It's going up the water, okay. You've done this before. These two will actually form a carbon dioxide with water. You get something like the glucose. This is the food that created by photosynthesis, okay. Carbohydrate. We call this sugar. We call it glucose. We call it, but carbohydrate is a it's a carbohydrate. I I remember I talk about this. Carbohydrate is short for carbon and hydrogen and oxygen. Anything that end with ate, it means is oxygen in there. Okay, bicarbonate, sodium bicarbonate, or yeah, that's a nitrate. You know, some poison ones that yeah. So and why I'm talking about this? So you got the carbohydrate in the leaves, in the animals, in us, our cells. You have the food, the carbohydrate. This is the sugar, and you plus this with oxygen from the leaves. Okay, and what you get from it, from this one, it's carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. Okay, this is how we get energy from. You burn anything that you light up the fire, you need oxygen. You're burning this, you're cooking this in your cell, and this one will come back and go to the leaves, and uh, this oxygen will come back to us. Okay, if you study ecosystem, you got all this from there. Okay, I'm trying to 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 lead you into how important to put shelter in the paddock. This process here is called respiration. Uh, don't worry, I'm not going to ask you anything in the exam with this one. But it's good to understand this. Okay. What's our time? Okay. So this one here. What if you find this online? They won't show you any other product you got. So it's energy and heat. Okay, heat is actually a product of these two because you're burning this. When you're cold, when you're cold, you need to eat more. It's actually because you need some heat to warm you up. Okay, it's either you eat more or you do some exercise. you when you work, it's actually you're burning fat in your body and to produce heat. So why am I talking about this is when the cows and animals in the paddock get cold, they actually need to eat more, okay? And if they don't eat, the brain will tell them to do some work. And if they're not working, the brain still insists that the muscle should work. And that's why you're trembling. You are shaking. Eh? You can see the cold animal they standing there, but their muscle is because brain is keep pushing the muscle to work so it will burn some fat to get some heat. Okay, how is that related to what I just said in the paddock? How is that related to the shoulders? Because when uh, with plus rain, uh, will bring down a day with 20 degree to bring it down to 9 degree. When those two bring it down, it's more than 10 degrees lower. And this one here is too cold. That's very cold. At night time, in hour, this is in hour is a cold, okay? In hour, it can go down to 1 degree at say 2 a.m. in the morning, and it's very cold. When this one, that when they hit this cold, the result is they lose all their meat, their what they eat, trying to keep themselves warm. And cows will, with, how would I say, cows will spend all what they eat the day before trying to keep themselves warm at night. The next day, their uh, body weight is actually decreasing. Okay, so it's important to keep them uh, uh, warm or have shelters to keep the wind away and keep the rain away. They might come down at night, but coming into 18 degree, and at night it's only come to about 12 degree, and that's bearable. Okay, that's why you need to keep the shed. um, in Canada or Alaska, their farms is actually run, they put heater in there so they can have their body weight uh, hold hold it up, and they sell that in the market with a high net profit. That remember, I so that's how relationship between keeping the shelter inside the paddock. I hardly seen maybe in the farm, but in Hangul we didn't have much. Didn't have shelters in Hangul for the cows, but I recommend that you need to have that in the paddock. So okay, last one. Sorry, I have the ear tags. Okay. After this, we're talking about this one. It's you can just go and run a farm. All right, ear tags. So ear tags coming with numbers. So number 1028. Okay, that's bull. Okay, doesn't matter what number is coming. I sent few years ago. I sent some ear tags for the sheep to Samuel Halofia in Hango. I don't know if they still have, but I didn't. I bought a plank one, so you just use a marker, a special marker to put your number in, whatever number you want. Uh, so 028 in that's in the car. So in the office, you've got a card there. All right, maybe a whole badge. I reckon there's about by the time you have the card, it's about the list of what you have for the card for that bull. It's actually filled up this. So inside the office, you've got the bull number 1028. This one is the record in the office. There are different uh, system. You've got sire or whatever. Some people call it sire, but I'll make sure. Uh, Father, okay. Father is bull 109, okay. And mother is cow um, say 11, 12, okay. So you know what's that bull coming here by looking at their card number, okay. Now you've got the winner. This one cross with the cow number 107, okay. Produce a winner. So when you got the record card, you actually find that where is that bull come from? Okay, it's very easy. It's very uh, important to know the history of that bull. Okay, if it's purebred, you write it down. How many times been service? How many years is in here? Okay, so we got here a winner. Uh, Say with the ear tag. So ear tags number 19. Okay, so when you come into the winner number 19, father, mother 1028 and 107. Okay, this one is number 19. Okay, if this one will go into the replacement to go and replace the cow, okay, and I told you before it won't go back, you can tell that winner when it's replacement, the winner is a female. Okay, the age in there as well. It will become, once the age is changed, you call it a heifer. Okay, and the age and the female. Uh, so heifer is actually a young female cow. So when it's going to replace uh, the cow, you know it's not going to mate with this bull here because the inbreeding. Okay, it goes to bull number uh, 139. Okay, that number. So first mating is in here as well. First mating and date. This is in the office. This one is in the paddock. Okay. What you study, you're studying all this history from the office. You just look at the card, and first mating will be bull number 139. Okay. And if it doesn't success, you just put it back to it. It could, if it's AI, it's through AI, you record in here, and when you're not there, people will come here and they said, okay, the first mating is on 2nd of January 2021. Okay, 3 weeks from that, so you're not writing down, but they can work out on the 23rd or 24th of January, they need to recheck the estrus. Okay, so if it's uh, coming estrus again, that first mating is not successful. So they write down second mating, depending on. We pull that one there, it may be parent, but or have problem. Okay, so you're going to pull 1, 2, 4. Okay, and then you do the same again, second mating. Okay, 3 or 4 mating and it's not successful. This one is not replacement anymore, regardless their size, their health, and this one will go into the market. Heifer number 19, you market. Okay, has the system how you are trying to avoid inbreeding, and at the same time you are actually wasting your time trying different things. All right, so one thing that the Tongan farmers is they love keeping their animals. They don't put in the market. When you put in the market, unless you spend your money is not going to be lose the body, or it's there, you're saving. So your saving is going up. Okay, and then you come back and redo this again. Okay, keep your record right and up to date. Okay, and you can write down carving at what, if this one, for example, if this one is successful mating and you check it, then you write down uh, first conception, or the uh, yeah, you don't do it 4 times, all right? 4 times it will be about 4 months trying to mate, okay, to get pregnant. So first one is successful, say 23 of 23rd, I should say, 23rd of January 2021. You can January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So in October 23rd, 23rd of October 2001, that's your carving date. Okay, so your carving date is here. That's 9 months. Okay, so there's no on heat again, and you check the pregnancy test, or you can see just a visual. I'll show you the visual before we finish. 1.5 hours now. Okay, now it's yeah, this is when in 3 weeks before, when it get to October, September, October, August, July. When you get to July, you've got to start separate this from into a carving area, okay? And you have to watch them, okay? Carving area. Uh, you do the worm trench, uh, treatment from ticks, okay? So you have to make sure it's all clean before they have the baby, because once the baby come out, the cow is so clean, there's no worms, no ticks, no mites, and so on. Okay, so this is all done in here. Okay, why do you know this one? Because you keep your record right. Okay, you can go on internet and type in anything, and it will show you a different system of how to record your but you have to make sure that 1028, the number of their ear tags is it match up with their card, record card in the office. Okay, if that one lost, you have to go back and change all these one. Okay, they the previous record on 1028, you're gonna change the number to the new number, but you still have to keep the history of their performance. Okay, that's good. I think that's about right. Uh, what did I say? Uh, Sorry guys, it's been a long time. I forgot a lot of. I think we have done there. All right. That's 1.5 hours now, and I know it's 2 hours you're supposed to do, so I'll get you for the last half an hour to go and do some work in the library, do a lot of readings, or re-listen to what I said, because my English is very uh, very bad. I'm really sorry, but that's how a very thick accent on mine. Yeah, so I think I covered everything, guys. All right. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good week. All right. I'll see you on Wednesday night, I think. Yes. Okay. See you, everyone.